Good to be with you, Katrina and Bob. It is a major storyline tonight. Republican enthusiasm right now for candidates taking on some of the former president's biggest critics. Well, three House Republican lawmakers who voted to impeach former President Trump over January 6th are on the ballot today. Two of them are in Washington state, including Republican Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler. She faces Trump-endorsed candidate Joe Kent, and she's not counting on her usual conservative support. Instead, angling herself as a more centrist candidate to try to pick up moderates, independents, and even Democrats, a strategy that may benefit her in the state's so-called jungle primary, where all candidates on the ballot with the top two advancing regardless of party. Congressman Dan Newhouse to the east of her also faces a similar test of his political career, facing a Trump-backed challenger, as does Congressman Peter Meijer in Michigan, an outcome which could reflect a massive split within the GOP. And in Arizona, a proxy war is playing out in the state's gubernatorial contest between Trump-endorsed Kari Lake and Karen Taylor Robson, who is backed by former VP Pence. Robson pitching herself as a more establishment Republican. Looking at Missouri's Senate GOP primary, Trump's endorsement was less clear. In a statement, he said he was proud to announce that Eric has my complete and total endorsement. Well, that left many wondering whether he meant the current Attorney General Eric Schmidt or Eric Greitens. Well, Bob, Katrina, what we can say is both Erics were very eager to take on that endorsement and have in fact claimed it. Should we perhaps say that that is an endorsement of the endorsement? But we're halfway through this primary season with Trump endorsing more than 200 candidates. And if Ohio and Pennsylvania are any proof, despite mixed results, some may believe that this will just give them the edge that they need.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. Joining us now, break down the primary races. Newsmax host of America Right Now, Tom Basile. So we've got a day. Okay, just to wrap up: Arizona, Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, Washington State. Yeah. Let's we can't look at all of them right now, but let's take a look at Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona has been a slugfest for the Senate seat, and you know, look, Mark Kelly is perceived as being a vulnerable Democrat. A lot of folks say this is a must-win for Republicans in November if they're going to take back the House, take back the Senate. Blake Masters, a Peter Thiel protege. He's taken over $10 million. At least his campaign has benefited from Peter Thiel. He's the Trump-backed candidate. He seems to be in the lead. Jim Layman, very successful businessman, has put millions of dollars of his own money into the race. And there are polls that show that the race could be tightening in these last few days. But this is going to be an important one to watch. And when I talk to folks on the ground in Arizona, they say, hey, look, it looks like Masters has an edge here. But then the big question is whether or not he can win a general election. And Arizona is different than it used to be. It's not John McCain's Arizona or Barry Goldwater's Arizona. It's trending a little bit more purple. So that's the big question on these Trump-endorsed candidates. I think a lot of them are going to win tonight. I think they're going to do very well. But now, can they take it all the way? Can they win in November?
Yeah, and speaking of endorsements, of course, as Kilmeny mentioned, we then have the governor's race in Arizona. Of course, essentially a proxy fight where you have Kari Lake, who, of course, is Trump endorsed, and Karen Taylor Robson, who is Pence endorsed. Who has the advantage there right now, and why?
I think that Lake probably has the advantage. I think she probably has the better infrastructure around her campaign, which is really important when you're trying to drive out voters in a primary. But there was a poll, an Emerson poll, that came out over the weekend, even though Lake has been leading, that showed Robson within the margin of error. So this could end up being a nail-biter, because, again, I think a lot of folks are looking at electability. Doug Ducey, a conservative Republican, has been very good for the state. He's cut taxes, improved the business environment. He just signed a really good school choice law. So Arizonans are trying to hold on to their legislature, which Republicans have a slim majority, and they want to keep that governorship. So again, electability could end up being a factor here in how people ultimately perform when they go to the polls.
Yeah. You're also looking at Washington State.
Yeah, because we've got two of those three Republicans who voted for impeachment who are on the ropes. Two Trump-backed candidates really giving them a run for their money. Again, it'll be interesting to see how much, if at all, any of the January 6th committee hearings have had on the electorate in a state that is a blue state.
Aren't most Republicans annoyed by them? I mean,
I think that they are. And
even if they were to say you have a few points to make, I mean, there were some things that shouldn't be done. It's like, okay.
We look at the data, and the data says that most Americans, regardless of party, believe that these are overtly political.
Yeah.
But you know, you've got two folks there that voted for impeachment. I mean, Congresswoman Herrera, she was asked to resign by the members of the chairman of her party in her district, and she refused to resign. These folks are really on the ropes tonight,
Yeah.
so we're going to be watching that, and then also the mayor
Are those
race.
safe districts, by the way?
They're leaning districts. You know, one of them is safe, one of them is leaning, and the one in Michigan is listed as a toss-up. So you get the wrong candidate there. That's why the Democrats are actually spending money in that race, $430,000. The DCCC has spent to try and push out Peter Mayer in Michigan 3, who voted for impeachment. So, again, this is going to be fascinating tonight to watch the whole thing.
You're just trying to get us to watch you, aren't you?
I want you to watch us. We're starting at 7 o'clock. We're going to be here all night.
There you go. I'm setting you up.
Yeah, but also before we let you go, Tom, also Missouri, of course. This is fun for me because it's very funny, that all-important Trump endorsement, but we've got a hotly contested Senate race between two guys named Eric, both spelled the same way, just like his son as well.
There's a third, I think. I think there's a third guy there that's also named Eric. You can look it up.
Well, you got the two leading contenders right there are the former governor who had to resign over those sexual abuse allegations in 2018, and then the popular attorney general, and who seems to be leading in the polls right now. And I think President Trump, an interesting bit of humor on his part yesterday, kind of hedging his bets and saying, well, it's going to be one of these two guys, so I'm just going to throw this out there. But we'll see what happens tonight. Again, this could end up also being a pretty close race because we've seen some movement there.
All right, we have more to talk about in the next hour. Because you're on this all day, aren't you?
All day and all night. We're going to start at 7 o'clock, and we're going to be going through to 11 p.m. tonight, following all of the races. We're going to have Mark Halperin, Senator Rick Santorum will be here, and we're going to be following it all. So.
That's great. Looking forward to it.
Hey, guys, it's Rob Carson. With inflation at its highest level in 40 years and interest rates skyrocketing, your retirement plans are in danger. Well, our friends at American Hartford Gold can help show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Yeah. If you call them right now, they have a special offer. They will give you a free gold coin on your first qualifying order. So don't wait. Call now. Here's the number, 866-935-4309. That's 866-935-4309, or text Newsmax to 65532. That's Newsmax to 65532. Thank you.